Hello everyone. I am Cleofa de la Calzada Regalado and I am here to discuss about Commission on Human Rights. So, Commission on Human Rights is an independent constitutional office created under the 1987 Constitution of the Philippines with the primary function of investigating all forms of human rights violations involving civil and political rights in the Philippines. This is Jose Wright Diokno, also known as Kapepe, the father of human rights advocacy in the Philippines. He served as a senator of the Philippines, Secretary of Justice, founding chair of the Commission on Human Rights, and founder of the Free Legal Assistance Group or FLAG, the premier group of Filipino human rights lawyer. Diokno is the only person to top both Philippine bar examination and board exam for certified public accountants or CPA. His career was dedicated to promotion of human rights, the defense of Philippine sovereignty, the enhancement of pro-Filipino economic legislation. So in the slide, you could see the mission, vision, and goals of Commission on Human Rights. So when does the Commission on Human Rights founded? It was on May 5, 1987, under the Philippine jurisdiction. Headquarters are found in Commonwealth Avenue, Diliman, Quezon City, Philippines. The Commission on Human Rights is composed of a chairperson and four members. Commissioners hold a term of office of 7 years without reappointment. The Philippine Constitution requires that a majority of the Commission's member must be lawyers. As a national human rights institution, the Commission enjoys status A or a top indication by the Global Alliance of National Human Rights Institutions based on the 1993 Paris Principles. The Commission derives the mandates from the Constitution relevant to domestic laws and eight core international human rights instruments to which the Philippines is a state party, as well as other United Nations human rights conventions newly enforced. Under Section 18, Article 13 of the Philippine Constitution, the government has a duty to protect civil and political rights of the citizens in the Philippines. Based on the Philippines Constitution, the Commission has a board mandate which can be categorized into three major functional areas. First, the human rights protection, which investigations and case management of complaints of violations, including all powers and services aid of the investigation of the civil and political rights as well as the economic, social, and cultural rights. Such power and service include citing for contempt for violations of the rules of procedure, legal aid and counseling, visitorial powers over jail and detention facilities, application of forensic techniques in aid of investigation, witness protection, and financial assistance for victims. Next is the human rights promotion, which includes the wide range of strategies for policy, advocacy, promotion, social mobilization, education, training, public information, communication, research and networking, and linkage. Human rights policy advisory derived from the monitoring government compliance with the treaty obligation that the Philippines has to acceded to. So, first, the International Covenant on Civil and Political Rights or ICCPR, the ICESCR or the International Covenant of on Economic, Social, and Cultural Rights, Convention Against Torture and Other Degrading Treatment or Punishment or CAT, Convention on Elimination of All Forms Discrimination Against Women, Convention Against Racial Discrimination, Convention on the Rights of the Child, Convention of the Protection of Migrant Workers and Their Families, Convention on the Rights of Persons with Disabilities. This includes the entire aspect of monitoring, evaluating the performance of executive, legislative, and judiciary to translate international human rights standards into national policies, laws, and practice. The Supreme Court of the Philippines in Carino v. Commission on Human Rights 204 CRA 483 of 1991 declared that Commission did not possess the power of adjudication and emphasized that these functions were primarily investigatory. So the Commission on Human Rights have the following powers and functions. First, investigate on the own or complaint by any party all forms of human rights violations involving civil and political rights. Adopt its operational guidelines and rules of procedures and cite the concepts of violations thereof in accordance with the rules of the court. Third, provide appropriate legal measures for protection of human rights of all persons within the Philippines as well as Filipinos residing abroad and provide preventive measures and legal aid service to underprivileged whose human rights have been violated or need in protection. Fourth, exercise visitorial powers over jails, prisons, and detention facilities. That's why naatay mga prison visits sa kada kalaing-laing jail or prison departments. Next is establish a continuing program of research, education, and information to enhance respect for the primacy of human rights. Recommendation to Congress effective measures to promote human rights and to provide for compensation to victims of violations and human rights or their family. So kanang ato ang process of sabot sa legal nga pagsabot nga mo compensate sa ato ang victim na under na siya sa power sa Commission on Human Rights. Monitor the Philippine government compliance with international treaty obligations on human rights. Grant immunity from prosecution to any person whose testimony or whose possession of documents or other evidence is necessary or convenient to determine the truth in any investigation conducted by its under authority. Request the assistance of any department or bureau or office or agency in the performance of its functions. Appoint its officers and employees in accordance with the law. Perform such other duties and function as may be provided by the law. The chairperson and commissioners of commission The chairpersons and commissioners of the commission have fixed 7 years term. Qualifications for Commission on Human Rights chairperson are A. Natural born citizen of the Philippines. That means it has to be a Filipino. At least 35 years of age and has not been a candidate to any elective position preceding their appointment. Commission on Human Rights as a constitutional office under the Article 9 of the 1987 Constitution. Three, consti- three constitutional commissions were established, namely Commission on Elections or the COMELEC, the Civil Service Commission, and the Commission on Audit or COA. The Commission on Human Rights, perhaps on other hand, has or was created under Article 13, Section 17 of the 1987 Constitution and the Administrative Code of 1987. In resolution to the Supreme Court contained in GR number 155336, it is ruled that the Commission on Human Rights is a form the 1987 Constitution and Administrative Code. It is abundantly clear that the Commission on Human Rights is not among the class of constitutional commissions. That's all for today, and thank you for listening.